All right, guys. So today I have Mr. Jerell Fields.
What's up, Shana Lashay?
Thank you so much for your Shana Lashay, Jerell Fields, honey. Thank you for your time.
Anytime.
Always have to start off. You know, time is precious. So I thank you for lending some time and to pour into some people. I'm excited.
I appreciate you thinking of me.
So of course, I mean, we've got Mr. 40 under 40. We got the best Charlotte real estate team, I would say, for Charlotte Observer. Or is it for?
It was actually Firm.
Firm.
Yeah.
Okay. See, let's go ahead and
2025.
we up a notch. Okay. But yeah, that's leading into a huge 2026 coming up. And some momentum. Father, husband.
Yep. Everything. Son.
Golf award winner.
Golf award.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Should we go on?
Let's keep going. You sound
okay.
Listen, you guys sounding like you and Shannon Sharp competing for best intros. I like this.
Hey, I do my work. I love this. I feel passionate about it. But it's a testament of. Yeah. I mean, you're sitting here, and those are accolades that you get to claim, right? And your story got you there. What was winning some of those awards like? What did it represent for you and this whole vision? Because let me start, first of all, most important, owner, well, not most important, fatherhood and wife, and or, you know, those are first, maybe the family. But Noir Group. I do have to start here. It's February when we're recording this. It's Black History Month. That photo that you recently posted, We Are Black History. From that vision when it started, and now 2025 that's leading into a full, you know, another year, but great momentum. What did that represent for you and your team?
I mean, the biggest thing is every year I post something like that, right? We've got gear where the back of it says We Are Black History. And I think the most important part of why Noir Group even started was more so because I found a void in the industry where I struggled early in my career. Excuse me. I struggled early in my career where I could not find accurate help for certain situations that I felt included racial division or just somewhere where I felt like I didn't have an advantage or the same advantage as as my counterpart. So throughout my trial and error period, I found out, you know, I learned so much. So at one point in my career, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to be the leader to where nobody else has to go through what I had to go through. I can give my real life examples and help people not have to experience what I experienced. So being able to launch a team at the time and then turn that into a brokerage and have so many agents support it and vendors support it throughout the years has been amazing. So I don't shy away from the fact that all of us are Black, right? And I think no firm says that they are all white or all Hispanic, but to be in a city like Charlotte where I've been raised here, you know, did grade school here, and to know what it was when I was younger and the life experiences I've had to see a Noir Group be so accepted and to win awards like Charlotte's best real estate firm is an honor. And it's almost just one of those things where you sit back and my dad asks me all the time, he's like, you ever just sit back and like acknowledge what you've done? And I go, no, because one, I don't want to get caught up in the, you know, all the accolades and everything right now. I don't think now is the time to kind of sit back and enjoy it. I think now is the time to keep doing what we're doing. And put your foot on the gas. So I acknowledge it. I know that what we're doing right now is going to be history for the future. So just a statement like We Are Black History is real small right now, but down the line, people will talk about Noir Group like it's second nature.
I mean, with Roy, you know, being in real estate with me for 3 years, I got a hair in my mouth. I feel what you were just stating with what he felt like was a disadvantage or wasn't equal, or he had to, you know, work a little differently or whatever. He too was struggling, even as a husband and wife team. You know, so I can feel, because I have that, you know, 17, 18 years with me and Roy, and I have that culture. I get his mindset. But it speaks volume because it does open up. It's very bold. Noir Group is all Black and it's very bold. And it's something that, like you said, it's planting seeds for the future. And when you started this whole vision, has it become even more than what you thought of then?
Yeah, way more.
already. And so you're still just getting started. That's the crazy part. You're still just getting started.
Yeah, way more. It's when we started, we started as an accountability group, right? I was at another firm, and I was one of the top producers at that firm, and other black agents just kind of reached out to me and was like, hey, can I talk to you? Can I learn some stuff from you?
Right.
So we met one evening in that office and was just talking. And I said, guys, if I started a team, would y'all, join?
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of business and I can't be everywhere at once. And if I'm going to teach you what I know, would you all just want to partner up with me and I give you leads and we can work together and you guys can help me? And they were like, hands down. So we ended up finding Costello not too long after that. And that's really what gave us the confidence to do what we do now. But John told me, and I just had an interview with John. I know you had one too,
Yep.
but one of the things John told me was, here at Costello, you'll have the freedom to succeed and you'll also have the freedom to fail, so whatever it is you do, you're going to find out what works. And we found out early on that, just being able to build a team there and advertise how we want, market how we want, we gained an audience that was, in my opinion, was unreal. And when we finally got to a point where I said, you know what, I need more agents, I ended up interviewing 17 people. I put the post out there thinking I was gonna get like 4 or 5. We ended up interviewing 17 people. And I was like, okay, so this is a little bit bigger than
Right.
what I thought. People really embrace what we're doing. And then when we had the launch party for the firm in 2022, we had 165 guests. I think we maxed it out. They let us get like an extra 15. So we were supposed to max it out at 150, but we had 165 guests and 42 of the confirmed guests were agents.
Wow.
And I was like, so they're not just here, to be a part of Noir. They're just here to support us. So again, all of that it's all been just baby steps and just,
Right.
Understanding that people really enjoy what we're doing and they embrace it. And it's nice to see. They don't have to be a part of it to enjoy it. And that's even more comforting.
Now, of course, you started this whole vision and it takes a team and it takes a village, right?
Yeah,
So your whole team and your whole firm and your whole umbrella, what do you feel like the culture within the culture, right? So you're setting a stone for like everybody that's outside looking in, no matter who, what, when, where. But of course, that culture within you guys has got to be also strong and commendable because you are winning these. You are getting this recognition. You are getting people who are excited to hear and be a part of. How do you feel like you really maintain that culture? Because it's got to be positive from within because we all know we can,
Yeah, the beautiful thing about what we're doing is we're not just saying yes to people, right? I am 100% engaged with the agents at Noir Group to say, hey, who are we bringing in? Who are you recommending? We don't go out and say, hey, anybody want to join? We literally, I tell the agents, look, if you've done a deal with somebody that you think would fit our culture, let's interview them. And then we interview, and then it's still a yes or no process after that. So we're very particular with who we bring in. And I think we've earned that right to say yes and say no to certain people.
Yeah.
We're not acting like we're bigger than we are. We say, and we do.
Intentionality.
And, exactly. So for us, it hasn't been too hard to maintain a culture. I think the hardest part that we've faced as a group is really just, we motivate each other. And I think, I've seen it more recently, where agents will outgrow what we've done, and want to do their own thing. So I think we build each other up so much that when we get to a point where we realize we may not need, the motivation or, life changes, whatever it may be, seeing people part ways from it is probably the hardest part. But to still have a collective group and people, even though they part ways, we still keep in touch. I think that's the biggest thing. We're really, we tell each other we're a family, but I think we stand by it and mean it.
Yeah. So growing up in Charlotte, what do you feel like your environment growing up, how did that shape you? Were you able to, be led by example? Were you able to just have, the spirit of perseverance and get to where you are? Or, how did your environment growing up here like shape what you continue to strive to be and do and accomplish?
Man, so I'll tell you, my parents went to HBCU.
Awesome.
They went to Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. When I was growing up, I didn't even know that PWIs, predominantly white institutions, existed. All I knew was HBCU culture. So coming down here and being exposed to a UNC Charlotte, I was like, oh, there's other colleges that aren't just majority black people.
Right. What is
So,
this? Yeah.
but one thing that my parents made sure that I did was remain rooted in my culture. So I went to Quail Hollow Middle School, and at that time it was very diverse. But in 2001, they opened up E.E. Waddell High School. And E.E. Waddell High School is right off of Nations Ford Road in Charlotte. So that is a very
switched it up.
non-diverse area.
Yeah.
It is very much full of people that look like me. And my mom, when we got the opportunity, my mom was like, "We're gonna send y'all there." So I went to E.E. Waddell High School, and just being around my culture and understanding, talking to a guidance counselor who understood what I might have been going through. Having friends going through the same exact things that I'm going through. And then going from E.E. Waddell High School to a historically black college and university at Winston-Salem State University. So being around professors who are now in the professional world, understanding how we are perceived in the world, and how, whether it comes to, business or just day in the life. So understanding how to engage with people and command a room, understand my audience, those things. Don't be afraid of, who you are and what you're about. So all of that is rooted in how I was raised. So being in Charlotte in itself, I've seen the Charlotte culture change. And I was always one to say, I don't want to move to an Atlanta or a DC to start my business or to finally be around my people or my culture. I was one who said, if I'm going to do it, I want to build it here. And I stand true to that. So even now, being that Noir Group is, about to be celebrating 4 years as a brokerage, I stood true to not leaving and making sure Charlotte understood who we are, and being happy that they've got a son that can, build his culture here and feel comfortable doing that.
Right. It just speaks volumes that leaders, no matter, you switching schools or having those people that were leaders and look like you and could tell you other things that they've overcome that you could relate to, about how pivotal, like every connection and how it just poured into you and inspired you to be a leader.
Yeah.
Was there a moment that you feel like, I don't want to just sit in the room, I want to lead a room, in a sense where these leaders poured into you in schools? Or
Man, that's a good question. I would say I didn't realize.
Or has your spirit always been like, you know what?
No, so now looking back, I can go. There were times, and again, I said this on with John. I call them God winks. Right, it's moments in life where, like, God put that situation right in front of me for a certain reason. But there's so many situations that I've been faced with where I didn't realize what it was teaching me until now or until later. I would say maybe one instance in particular, I was working a corporate job. I was a claims adjuster actually at MetLife, and just I would itch, man. Sitting down and being in that office, I would just itch because I'm around. I hate being around stagnant people. I really do. And everybody, they would come in there, clock in, put their headphones on, and go to work, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, what is this? Like, y'all don't get hives from this? And I would literally
busting at the seams, get
Oh
me
my
out of
gosh,
here.
They had these desks that were raised, and I was the only one on my floor that would raise his desk. And I would stand up all day because I would have to move around.
Right.
And I could see everybody that's in front of me and everybody behind me. And everybody was sitting down. I'm like, how are y'all doing this? This is not something that's comfortable. So I got out of that real quick and then went to go work at Avid Exchange. I did some. Everybody talked about their culture, but this was one of the moments where I knew I was like, you know what, I'm a little different. My manager pulled me into the office.
The wink is coming through.
My manager pulled me into the office, and they do these one-on-ones. And she asked me a list of questions, and I was just giving her these nonchalant answers. And the last question she asked, she was like, well, what do you see for yourself here in the next 5 years? And I was like, I ain't gonna be here in 5 years. I was like, 5 years? I was like, I might not be here past this summer. And I'm talking to her like this.
Right, yeah.
And I'm telling her all my real estate goals. And she's listening.
Yeah.
But as soon as I stopped, she was like, well, I meant like here at Avid Exchange. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be here.
This is just a stepping stone along the way,
5
baby.
years, that's crazy. You'd be happy if I'm be here 5 more minutes.
Right.
But that was one of those situations, like when I went home or I told my wife about it, she was like, Jerell, you're not supposed to say that. And I was like, well, then maybe I shouldn't be doing it. Maybe I need to just step into what I was talking about. Because how can I how can I tell somebody my 5-year plan and not be making actions towards it? So I think that was probably the most clear moment to where I was like, yeah, this is it. Let me just start stepping into what I'm doing and just be confident and make it work.
I mean, I can relate to that full throttle because I'm very growth mindset, and I think being asked those questions though and realizing to say it out loud, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, you're crazy.
I mean, if that don't open your eyes that other people projecting was like, oh, he could succeed so great in the next 5 years, and you're like, let me out of here.
And I'll tell you something crazier. 5 years from that date would have been 3 years ago. So just imagine if my 5-year plan was still to be there and do stuff like all the things I've accomplished in real estate would literally not have happened or put on hold. The team wouldn't have been started. The firm wouldn't have started. Just the 40 under 40, all of that. None of that would have happened. No way.
3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
You would just be mid. You just be mid.
I'd be climbing something, or maybe maybe I'd be doing well. Maybe I wouldn't. But I think I'd be doing well, but I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah, that was your nudge to. All right, we got to think.
Do it now.
Different route. Right.
Yeah, do it now.
Life is too short and precious.
Life is way too short. Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Right. So boom, into real estate. Now you've got your podcast, Keeping It Real Estate, you know. So when did you start that? I know there's like a few seasons ago.
Yes, I started that one in 2023. I took a break after 2024. Yeah. So I did 10 episodes in 2023. I called that my first season, and then I did 6 episodes season 2, 2024. And the reason I stopped was because I got to a point where I was losing sight of why I started the podcast. And I started interviewing people because I felt like I had this responsibility to give credibility to agents that I thought were doing well but may or may not have deserved it, or, I felt like there were things like, I won't say that, but magazines would recognize agents, but they wouldn't recognize certain agents. And there was no way for these agents to get into that magazine at all based off of their criteria. And I remember voicing my opinion to the owner of that magazine and saying to him, hey man, like, this magazine is supposed to be about our community. But why do you think I'm going to come to your events? Why do you think I'm going to show up to these things and our community is not represented in this magazine? And so that's where I was like, you know what? I'm just start a podcast, and everybody that I feel like deserves to be in the magazine, or everybody I feel like deserves some recognition, I'm going to interview them and I'm going to give them their credibility. And I got to a point where my last interview I did 2024 was with somebody, and the whole time I'm giving this interview, I'm looking at them and it just didn't feel right. And I'm like, why am I, everything I thought I knew about this person is not right. I mean, the Instagram made it seem like this person was doing well. Instagram made it seem like they should be getting the recognition. And then I'm talking to them and I'm like, that's not it. So I'm like, I'm not even going to air this. So, once you get to that point, it's like, let's just scrap it. And then came the launch of the firm, or not came the launch of the firm, but we moved our office, and I was like, oh, this is a good backdrop for a podcast. I was like, but I ain't got no podcast no more.
Right.
So then I was like, well, maybe if I find a different reason to start up a podcast and I can stay true to it, then I'll do it. So I brought it back a little bit last year. And then got a taste of it. I interviewed my wife, interviewed a couple of agents at the office, and I was like, this is fun. So brought it back again this year, got a producer again, got a full setup this time, and just got back to the root of what I want to talk about. And I'm literally interviewing people that I enjoy, and the conversations are better, the responses are better, the watch time is better because people are seeing the genuine responses, and it's just a lot more fun.
Yeah. Love that. What do you feel? I mean, obviously it's keeping it real estate within that element, and you kind of spoke about it, but what do you feel like you learned the most thus far by interviewing other people about yourself?
Oh man, that I have, my pathway to where I am is not unique. Everybody is doing something similar, but just has a different route.
Right.
And I think I always thought people would call, I guess I could say it this way. People give me flowers all the time. all the time, and I never understand why. I go, man, I'm just selling houses. What are we doing here? You know, I launched a brokerage. Yeah, I get it. You're like, no, you don't understand. I'm like, no, I really don't understand. Like, I'm just selling houses.
Break it down for me so I can
Please
understand.
help me understand. But talking to these people and getting their take on where they were in real estate and where they are now in real estate and how I've impacted their real estate career, I go, okay, now I get why people give me my flowers so much. And one of my goals this year was to just start accepting them. You know, I've never really accepted the flowers. I've always shied away from, I get it, thank you. You know, but I think this year I'm really focusing on the why. I'm working on my eye contact. When people are talking to me, I'm working on, you know, just fully engaging and going, what are you trying to say to me? And I want to give you that energy back. So
That's good.
yeah, I'm working on it. So, you know,
It's definitely getting
everybody's a work in
lost.
progress.
I mean,
everybody's a work in progress, man.
Yeah.
And no matter where you are in your career or in your life, you know, there's things you got to adjust. And one of those things, like I said, I'm being real conscious about what I'm doing. So, yeah,
I love
that's
that.
that's what I've learned.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. And eye contact, man. I mean, these phones, you know, of course for work, we're always like, you know, one way or the other. And then kids and the culture that they're growing up with phones and eye contact and, you know, we have the kids, you can order your own food.
Yes.
It's not that we can't do it for you, baby. It's to train you that you need to learn how to talk to people, you know? So I know a lot of adults, they just, and Roy's always, he's like, if they can't hold a conversation and look me in the eye, I don't trust them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't read their energy, and I feel like it's a flake.
Yeah.
Because as a man, and as a true man that Roy represents and embodies, it shouldn't be hard to have a conversation and look somebody in the eye. You know.
sure.
So that's huge. That's a huge growth moment. We all have our things, you know, to work on. Lord knows. What do you feel like is just not getting talked about in real estate enough, based on obviously being in the industry, being a leader in the industry, and having a podcast? Is there topics that you feel like just don't get talked about? Because it's very, you know, it's very social media looks great, and
exactly
people
what the
don't have a
problem is.
clue of what we sacrifice and what we go through and what we lose on top of those wins that are always posted. But they don't see all this other stuff. Is that a topic that you feel like is just number one?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
You just said it. I mean, the fact that we're so glamorized is also the reason why we're undervalued, right? People see us pulling up in our all the videos got people pulling up in their BMWs, women showing off
rented.
their legs. Yeah, like what are we selling here? Houses or cars? You know? But I think that's the thing. You know, when we go up to somebody's house for a listing appointment and they're like, yeah, I want to, you know, I got another guy offer me to list it for $1,000 or 1% or whatever. We're so undervalued because it doesn't look like we're doing anything. So I think what podcasts are doing, these conversations do, they allow for people to get a little bit of insight into the troubles and the hurdles that real estate agents face. One of the questions I always ask agents on the podcast is, give me your horror story. Let these people know, you know, give me one. Give me one horror story. 'Cause I know you got a bunch, you know, but give these people a glimpse into what it's really like to be a real estate agent. And then I always end the podcast with two, what I call golden nuggets. You know, tell somebody that's just getting into this business, what are two things that you would just love for them to know ahead of time, you know? So it's so important for us to engage with people who glamorize this business, because it can be glamorizing for sure. But I'm always gonna be the same guy who has just a regular black T-shirt on or a white T-shirt on, pants from H&M. I'm not out here with red bottoms. I'm not out here with suits every week. I get it. Some people, that's their style. But for me, I enjoy being myself, and I enjoy engaging with people who understand me for who I am.
Do you feel like as you have gotten older and wiser that the more authentic that you are for you and who you are, the more success and opportunity and wisdom that comes? Because like for me, you know, naturally, I'm Shana Lashay. I could be super goofy. Even when I first joined Costello in 2021 at that last event, that's what is it? Something 58, right there in Uptown.
2058.
Yeah. It wasn't that. It wasn't that when John had held that. But I remember
we
sitting
were
outside.
there.
We were
talking
chopping it
together.
up. Right.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd met you.
Yeah.
I had met.
I think that was our last event with Costello.
Yeah.
Yep. Right before we left. Yep.
Right. And then we both, like, you know, individually as different agents had experiences, and now we're back at Costello. You know, it's like, rawr. Okay. So this industry, obviously, there can be burnout. And I feel like everybody needs to have releases going into golf. Okay. And I don't know much about golf up until, the last few years of Roy playing. And I love being on the course. I love how peaceful it is. I can journal while he's playing. I can learn, because I'm very competitive. But you have obviously won awards and you've got your own golf content that's going out and etc. Do you feel like all leaders need that type of release? Because burnout can happen in this industry.
Yeah. So I learned a couple years ago, I learned that I needed something to, release is a good word. I would always, I would have my iPad or whatever if I'm going to play golf and have it available. And then if I needed to answer a question or respond to an email, I could. But I would always shy away from it. Like I didn't want people to think that I was prioritizing golf. One issue too is I'm good at golf. So people assume because I'm good at golf that I give it 100% energy. And they go, well, how are you giving golf 100% and real estate 100%? And I go, no, I'm just naturally good at golf. I don't practice. I'm okay. I can maintain whatever level I'm at right now. I can stay there as long as I want. If I want to get better, I practice more. But for me, my biggest fear was always going to be, how do people view that? Am I going to lose clients from it? But my release is golf, and I've ended up gaining clients from it. That's my way of networking. That's my lead gen, right? So for me, I enjoy lead generation now,
Right?
Because that and farming are my two sources of lead gen. So everybody I meet on the golf course, they know I'm in real estate.
Which ties back into the question that we forgot.
Hey, what we got?
Sticking to authentically who we are,
Yeah.
and how that can attract positive energy. That's where the question was going.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, when we had met outside of Costello the first time, because Shana's naturally a lot of personality, and I feel like real estate has almost boxed me in over the years, because you need to look a certain way, you need to present yourself a certain way, or you're not going to be, how it can create this box of what's professional, what's acceptable. Even with you speaking about golf, like, am I going to lose clients? Me doing the podcast, are they going to think that I don't care about real estate? And it's always been, for me, and it sounds like from you with golf, is that you're passionate and just naturally good at it, which is a gift that we did not choose, right? We didn't order before we were born, like, be good at this and be terrible at that. And that you're using this to help your business of real estate, to network, to lead gen, to connect with people in what you're already naturally your element. And that's what I feel like with my podcast is I feel like I'm in my element. I love connecting with people. Great if it gets business, but even if it doesn't, even if you're on that course, even if it doesn't, you still had a good time of releasing, doing what you enjoy, you're good at. And that's what we were talking about, though. So
what I was going to say that too, is you said it's important to stay authentic. Man, I tell you, golf has taught me so much, and that's one thing golf taught me at an early age, was not to care about what people say. I've been playing golf since I was 7, 8 years old.
Incredible.
So for me, I was always the one that got picked on for playing golf, but I also played basketball and I also did, other things. So for me, people would pick on me playing golf, but then they couldn't disrespect me on the basketball court. So I would gain respect another way. But I remember one memory that I share with a lot of people is I remember 8th grade when I made the golf team. I was good at, again, naturally good at golf, not necessarily been taught or, know the ins and out of golf at that time. Then I had this colorful golf bag, red pocket, green pocket, blue. I mean, it was every color of the rainbow. My mom would drop me off, because when we had golf tournaments or golf practice, we had to get dropped off at the front of the school. So I get dropped off at the front of the school, and I got to wait for the school to open, and we walk in. So I got this golf bag with me, got to drop it off in the principal's office. And at the end of the day, we have to take that golf bag and we got to walk all the way to the back of the school. So the principal's office at the front, we walk straight to the back of the school. I'm walking through crowds of people picking on me about my golf bag. And I built such a strong backbone just from that. Like, I don't care, guys. Like, y'all not going. And then once they realized it didn't affect me, they stopped. But for me, what it taught me was to not care. Just do you. Peer pressure was never an issue. My mom used to always say, she said, I know if Jerell don't want to do it, he not doing it. If
Right.
Jerell want to do it, he gonna do it.
No matter what
And I was-
stones are thrown.
And that's still now. Like there is no such thing as peer pressure around me. I don't drink like that. You know, I drink bourbon every once in a while. If I'm at a party and everybody's like, "Oh, we drinking." I'm not drinking. Now.
Right.
So, but I've always had that. And for me, I'm so authentic to that. I'm so true to that. And golf taught me that at an early age. So just being around golf and being around people and people underestimated me and me conquering, winning, whatever it may be. Like those are the things, the life lessons that golf taught me at a super early age that now it's just natural.
And people are going to hate on things they don't understand,
Correct.
right? And especially, you know, looking at statistics, no matter what, like with golf, I'm sure like walking through the halls and, you know, here you are with a golf bag.
As a 10, 11-year-old kid with this colorful bag.
Right. And like, how are they going to understand something that they're just naturally not going to understand because they don't know? And some people find that outlet by, instead of asking questions or being engaging, it's like, let's try to break it down and, you know, make fun of. But it's a testament of perseverance. Like, to have that hard shell, I mean, that's how I've grown up my whole life. You know, I'm blonde-headed and, oh, she's white, but people don't even have a clue of, you know, where, you know, how those hard moments really does build. Outside of patience, also with this sport, because I feel like I'm very competitive. I was asked in high school, please be on the golf team, you know, basketball, basketball, basketball. That's all I was focused on. And I hate it because there was a lot of opportunity I feel like I missed within golf. But being out there in the last few years with Roy and trying to get better, it's so annoying because you can want it, you know, and what you do on this hole,
it don't matter.
It don't matter. The next hole can be completely different, better or worse. So beside patience, what is another parallel that you're able to take into business as a positive? Of course, how it's built you to be like, if I believe in it enough, I don't care what y'all say, I'm going to keep moving. But like, how do you feel there's a parallel outside of patience? Because business is...
There's always time left to make mistakes and get better. You know, golf is the only sport you can play every day and get worse, right? So the parallel that I share all the time with golf is there's 18 holes, right? You make up, in life, you make up where your back nine starts, right? You don't know. So whatever you shoot on the front nine on the golf course, that back nine is your opportunity mentally to flip that switch and say, all right, let me turn it around. But there's always holes left. There's always holes left. And if you have a bad day, if you have a bad hole, the next day is different. You know, you've got an opportunity to change that. And the only way to change it is to put in the work, right? The only way to be prepared for the next hole is to know that that last hole was a mistake, but I've been prepared to get better and finish with a stronger score. And the same thing with life. Like I'm not going to tell you to do something I haven't done. You know, I'm prepared for the next day. I'm prepared for what's coming up. And I think that's something that golf has taught me, man, so much. And I honestly, I reflect on life and golf in the same sentence. Like it's not separate to me.
Right.
It really isn't. Like some people say, oh, football is the best sport to compare to life. No, because life's not a team sport. Basketball, no, life's not a team sport. Tennis, you know, maybe it's an individual sport, but you still got to rely on the ball coming back. You know, somebody's got to hit it back to you.
Right.
Golf is literally whatever you shoot, you got to take. Whatever penalty you got to call that penalty on yourself.
Ain't
you
nobody you blaming but yourself.
Man, golf is 100% the most comparable sport to life.
That's so good. Mental resilience, man. Because you're looking around and there's things that could affect it, the wind or whatever. But at the end of the day, you had the club. You had the opportunity to adjust. And did you adjust?
Exactly. And even in tournaments, it's not did you beat that guy? No, it's who's playing the golf course the best? Who's beating the golf course the best? That's it. The golf course has a score, you just beat it by X amount.
Right. Right. So good. So outside of all those titles, you know, removing real estate, removing, you know, any accolades or, you know, achievements thus far, all of that's gone. And the one title, the two titles, you know, being a husband, being a father, no matter what's going out on that other end, those two titles are top priority.
100%.
And what do you feel like fatherhood and being a husband, you know, your legacy that you're leaving? And of course it takes all elements of juggling all of those titles, but when you're stripped of those and you understand what priorities are real when we leave and that legacy, what do you feel like you're most excited as you're pouring into your kiddos and in a real partnership with your wife, you know, because marriage is hard naturally. Parenthood is hard. We never done this before. You know, I always tell my oldest, I'm like, girl, I ain't never done this before. I am learning with you, you know? So how do you feel like your legacy right now? Being a father and a husband is really, what does that mean to you?
I, I don't know. Some people will say, man, this is the best thing ever. Fatherhood is excellent. You know, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. You know, fatherhood is great. You know, being a husband is great. You know, I think it's scary. You know, everything about fatherhood and everything about being a husband is super scary because you lead by example, and it's like, I made a mistake there. Did they see that? You know, so my son just turned 14. One of the hardest things that I'm facing right now is my son is 14, you know, and it's like, I know what I was doing at 14 and what I was thinking at 14. And it's like, I don't want to lose him. You know, I want to make sure that he understands I'm here for him. So, you know, our conversations are changing. So now I'm at a point with him to where I'm talking to him like a young man, you know, like this is, hey man, look, you know, we got to have these conversations. My wife talks to him about school and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, she can handle your grades. She can yell at you for not getting an A.
She can have the women's perspective, but maybe as a man, let me.
I got this part right here.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, we need to talk to him about this. No, don't tell me what to talk to him about. You don't know. You really don't. And that's the thing. It's like, I'll let you. You can say that. You can say you need to talk about this. I go, okay.
You're always gonna love that you said that. Like,
but you don't know. You know, and I know the conversations that we need to have, and just being around that. And that's a scary feeling, you know. And then having to also run a business, manage 20 other agents, answer their questions, be there for them, be vulnerable enough to them so that they can get a genuine response back, you know, and still value what I'm giving them. So it's tough, but it's fun, right? Everybody says it's fun. It's a peak moment, but it is fun. It's just tough.
it's just hard.
It
It's
really
the hardest job that any of us have.
Yeah. And the
If
same
if
thing
we
with-
care,
yeah,
if
the
we
same
if
thing
you
with husband
know,
and wife. You know,
right.
Me and my wife talk all the time. My wife's like, you know, do you think? She's like, do you think when the kids leave, we still gonna be together? I'm like, I hope so. You know, because it's like that's our connection right now is raising these kids, but we don't want to get lost in that either. So you have those genuine conversations with your spouse, man. You get some deep combos going.
It gets real deep real quick, but you see how quick day to day is.
Yeah.
And it's a partnership trying to do so many different things to make the whole.
Yeah.
And how do we not lose each other
Right.
when we're trying to take care of all the other things that we have to take care of the kids, or you know, one sporting event to the next sporting event, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, because a lot of people can lose that love for each other, or not lose the love, but lose the priority of how important it is to still pour into that relationship because the day to day is so busy and it is so attached to the kids' schedule and the kids' needs, and you know, and really teeter-tottering of making sure it's a strong for after they leave, because that's a real thing.
It is, man.
People are together for kids only, and when they leave, they don't even know what to do with each other.
Man,
and you know,
scary.
It's scary. It's terrifying.
Scary again.
Right.
It's like, what? I'm sorry
Nobody
to put fear
told us this when
Sorry
we-
to put fear in everybody, but it's scary.
If you haven't got married or have kids, it's scary. It's just terrifying.
There's some fun moments, but it's overall, you know, it's
Right.
85% scary.
It is, and it's terrifying because we're at the same. You know, our oldest turns 14 this year too, and we just last week.
Yeah.
I had to get more real with her than I've ever got about my own experiences and things that I've had and trauma, and I'm like, wow, I thought I was going to do that in like the next 5 years. I didn't realize that was going to come so quick.
Blink, man. You blink and they 14.
Right? You're like, oh,
That's so serious. I remember people saying that when they were young.
4 years, yo.
Oh gosh.
4 years, and I'm like, baby. There ain't no mommy. Like, what you make at 18, you are an adult. That decision you make, we're there, but there's a lot of responsibility.
I told my mom the other day, I said, Cam, that's my son. I got his name right here. My daughter always says, side note. She's like,
by the way.
I'm like, yo, this hurt. It hurt right here. When I got to that part of the M, it hurt. So like putting your name right here is probably not gonna happen, but we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember just telling my mom the other day, I said, Cam is 14. He is now 3 years younger than I was when I met his mother. Like to even think that he could meet his wife
Wow.
3 years from now is crazy.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, that's crazy, man. That's just you go, ugh, am I that old?
Right. It's like, oh, there's a
happening?
reminder of also scary. Time is short and we're getting
time is
old.
short, man.
Yeah.
Time is short. So
Is there something that you feel like you're most intentional about that you want to make sure before they get out of the house and before there's empty nesters that you're intentional about pouring into them?
yeah, I think right now it changes all the time.
Up to every season.
It changes all the time, but right now I am really focused on him understanding priorities, right? So now we're getting into the iron your clothes, fold your clothes. You know, you could always, everybody, you know, give your kids the basket and they put their clothes away. But now we're getting into the make sure you know, put deodorant on, lotion, maybe spray yourself or something.
Yeah.
You know, but it's fun. Like I'm getting him to prioritize, you know, his image, right? Because this is where these are your formative years, and you have to now shape yourself with how you think you want yourself to look going forward. And I mean, the other day he came downstairs, he had my watch on, and he was like, "You think we could take a couple of these pieces out so it'll fit?" And you know, that to me is like one of those moments where I go, okay, he's watching everything. You know, he wants to be like me. You know, whether it be my watch or whether it be my necklace or you know, hey, can you get this shirt from here? He wants to wear my golf logo. You know, stuff like that, man. It's just, you know, okay, he's watching. And then with my daughter, it's just making sure she understands commitment. You know, my daughter signs up for volleyball. She's been playing volleyball now for the last 2 years. She's really good, and we just signed her back up. But now it's like, all right, practice. You know, you got to practice even when you don't have practice. So it's just trying to teach so many different lessons. And you got one kid that's 14, one kid that's 10. They're going through two different life stages. So
Which is hard in itself.
That
I mean, that element right there, because we too,
Yep.
it's, you know, 13, 10, and 3.
Oh.
And even just the 13 and the 10. It's light years.
Yeah.
Then you had a toddler.
Yep.
And I'm like, he's talking the way that you think is okay to talk to me. He's catching that by you.
Yeah.
You wasn't talking to me like that.
Yep.
You know, so I commend you because it is a lot of hats to juggle and you got to wake up and have a positive attitude and figure it out as you go. And we don't know what we're doing in the parent book. There is no parent book. And, you know, making sure you're
I wish there was. I wish I could flip a page and be like, okay, page, you know, chapter 7. Okay, page 13. Got it.
Like, what in the world? They didn't let us know about that.
Yeah.
All right, I have a little quick rapid fire question for you. And it's just one or the other real quick.
All right.
Early tea time or a late showing?
Early tea time. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Suit or golf polo?
It depends. I don't even like golf polos. I wear like the no collars. I'll rock a suit with a t-shirt underneath it.
Yeah.
A
little bit of
both.
A little bit of both. A sporty casual dress up. Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
New build or a historic?
New build.
Modern.
Yeah, modern. Give me modern. I like having my stuff be new.
Yeah.
I like to use it for the first time.
Yeah. Ain't nothing like newness. Yeah. Historic. That's why when we bought our current the commercial property, we're always like, when was this built?
Yeah.
And he never asked that in any of the other showings. And why his spirit decided to ask, and I'm like, 1900, and he was like, wah. Like the face was enough to be like, what in the world? Lakeview or Uptown Skyline?
Ooh, Uptown now. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my thing. When the kids going, I'm going Uptown.
I know. That's what me and Roy speak. We love that view, but baby, with the kids, I'm like, you're falling off the balcony. That's all I can see.
That's it.
That's all.
Fall off the balcony.
I'm like,
no, I'm out.
It ain't
I'm
worth the
walking
risk.
Everywhere. I'm
right.
walking everywhere.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah, that's it.
Love it. Podcast mic or a listing presentation?
That's a good one.
That's a good one, ain't it?
That is a good one because I'm leaving here and going to a listing presentation.
It's both.
It's
a little bit of both.
It's both, but listing presentation.
Okay.
I say listing presentation right now because podcast is fun, but it don't pay the bills.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'm manifesting
there you go.
to pay the bills, but I like those lesson presentations
ask
too.
me in about 2 years. We'll see.
And your hat might give this one away, but discipline or motivation?
Oh man, discipline. Motivation is cool, but it's temporary, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Discipline, man. I'm learning. I'm going through 75 hard right now. I'm on day 66. Actually 67.
6'7".
You know what I'm saying? So I'm on day 67. the discipline is crazy. I don't mean to give a long answer for
Oh no,
for,
this is
rapid fire.
no,
But
baby. I'm
again, that 75 hard. I got a partner. I'm doing it with a friend of mine, an agent at Noir Group, and every day I text him at 5 o'clock. I'm on my way. So our commitment was, I'll drive every day to the gym if I can use your guest pass. So that's basically it. But basically, if he don't go to the gym, or if he doesn't respond to my text, we don't go to the gym because I don't have a gym membership. For every day for the last 67 days, he's answered. And it's like, all right, cool. So just having somebody be disciplined enough on their end to hold up their end of the deal forces you to be disciplined as well. To hold up their end of
That
the deal.
accountability partner is real.
I'm telling you, it's real. I wouldn't do anything without an accountability partner. Nothing. I've learned that so many times. Noir Group started as an accountability group, 75 hard because of with accountability partner. There's no point in doing anything alone anymore.
I mean, and we're human. We're built to be in communion and community and to build with each other. That's how we are strongest. But I feel like even within our industry, it can be very me, centered, and just the volumes it speaks that when you connect with the right people and they also have the same, drive and hunger to achieve the goal, that together it's like unstoppable. Because even on those hard days, you're going to be able to pick them up. And if you don't want to go work out, but you said, "Yep, I'm waiting on you," you're like, "Well, shoot, I ain't got an excuse now. I got to get there," And it's like it's huge.
Exactly, and that's the thing. From his perspective, if I don't send him that text, he can still go to the gym. But if I don't send him that text, he doesn't know that I'm awake. He doesn't know that I'm. So me sending a text triggers him to go, okay, well, he's awake and we going.
We back at it.
I love it.
We at 67. We got just a little bit, and then what it obviously changes for the future of building a whole new routine. Stripping all of this away, who do you feel like Jerell Fields is as a man, as a spirit here in this day and age, at this time, as of right now in Charlotte, North Carolina? There's plenty of places you could have been, but you're here, creating this legacy here in today's time. What do you feel like when everything is stripped away, who you are internally and your spirit, like what you're embodying?
And I'm a servant leader, and I think I'm learning that, but I realized a long time ago that I was put here to help other people. So I'm leading by going through things for other people and just being able to share that information with them and make sure they don't have to go through it. But that's exactly what I am.
So good.
No matter what it is, I'm a servant leader.
So good. Well, servant leaders deserve their flowers too.
Yeah, I'm accepting them this year, so keep giving them.
Hey, we gave it a little few flowers, but I am super proud of you. I'm proud of the stepping stones that you've taken and had faith and just didn't know what it was going to look like, but you did it anyways, and you're literally still just getting started, and that's got to also be crazy.
It is.
And I'm super proud of you. I mean, being in the industry for 13 years myself, man, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And you've opened a lot of doors and hope for a lot of people and changing communities. So kudos.
Thank you. I appreciate
thank
it for
you.
sure.
Well, thanks for being here, guys. Jerell Fields, golf content, Noir Group owner, leaving a legacy, incredible man and representation of some leadership here in Charlotte, the Queen City. Go check him out, and kudos to your listing presentation. That's never a bad thing. He's headed off.
Yeah, I'll be on time.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, Shane.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome.
Boom.